Before you slip into unconsciousness.
Here I'm at Idlewood at a death cafe. It's about to get going in 5 minutes. Just want to do a quick little video. Found one on the website, and I just felt like I had to go. So it's gonna be a good. Being in like a group atmosphere, you really got to open up, and so I felt that would be a little bit uncomfortable for me and something different. The Death Cafe I went to, it's all in Idlewood. Never been to Idlewood, and there's a different experience for yourself right there. It's gonna be a good thing. I was just inside, and there is cake, a lot of gluten-free cake. They said that was a requirement, so that's good to know. It seems like a lot of good stores. We're gonna have a full house, around 15 people. Yeah, it's gonna be able to give me an opportunity to learn about the grieving process, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so the end of the Death Cafe, it was a great experience. It's something I didn't expect to be around. I originally went in feeling that was going to be a lot more depressing and talking about just different death stories, and I thought I was going to have to try to relate to. But it ended up being very energetic, and I enjoyed it very much so. Met a lot of great new people. Like, what did you get out of the Death Cafe?
Well, I enjoyed being around people that were willing to talk about it. Talk about death, and mostly that's it. I enjoyed that kind of, that people are willing to get it. And, because I remember when my mom died, I had already formed some feelings about it, that death was okay. So I was able to talk to her about it. She went into hospice. And I didn't feel reticent about talking to her about it. And I know that helped her. So I think that the people that come to these kinds of things, once they get death more into their conversation, that they're going to be more comfortable talking with other people, especially people who are dying.
Yeah, but I was comfortable hearing more about the process. A lot of people were just excited about. Like a lot of people just wanted to die consciously.
So long, Peter.
Which I never thought of, because I always thought of dying itself. Like I was like, I just want to go to sleep, not thinking about it. And kind of approach it today. I was like, yeah, actually, if I understood my death, and then maybe if I went to heaven, I'd talk about my death. How was your death experience? Mine was okay. So the experience from start to finish, I came in, I was the third person to arrive. I arrived like 5 minutes, 10 minutes early. I had to go to the bathroom. Ended up never even going to the bathroom. There's a start off point, so I was anxious. Had a little anxiety, and right off the bat, we actually ate cake in the beginning. There was a lot of stress that was gluten free. It's pretty important up here in Idlewood, and I end up starting off. I was the youngest one. I was 21. The second youngest to me was 28, and everyone else was around 60 to 90. Another great thing I learned was individual uniqueness. As going through the Death Cafe, I learned everyone had a different story when they were introducing themselves. One lady, many of them were in hospice, but every single person found a different way to approach death. And I always thought there was just one basic way of doing it. One lady, she does it by she feels she's always around death, and she'll hold their hand and be there with them. She says she's really good at that. Another guy sings to people while they die. One guy feels that death is just a experience. You just have to force your way through. There's like one guy that was scared of death. One girl who says she just laughs at it. She laughs at death. And so everyone had a different way of looking at it, and they were really unique. And being unique and having your own opinion, of course, it doesn't make you wrong, and it takes away the need to generalize and to make it your own positive way. And how do you deal with a subject like. And all really nice people. We started out just introducing ourselves, as it was the first ever Idlewood Death Cafe of all time, and it was right off the bat, introduce yourself, and I was expecting kind of sob stories right from the get-go, but what ended up being the case, it ended up being just a real energy, and a lot of people were really excited to just know about death. And a lot of people were just really mature and comfortable about bringing up the persuasion of death, the cycle. A couple of girls, they talked about how they want to be alive, be able to feel the unconscious experience of death. I always thought about just when I die, but now I'm also, I got an open mind of, hey, it's another event. Let's go die or something. So it's cool just to be able to have a positive atmosphere, and there was a real positive atmosphere about it. No sob stories. Really, everyone was just embracing it, and they were enjoying it. One lady, she was talking about introduce herself and the gift of just being able to sit next to someone as they die and being able to feel what they feel, like put their hand on their chest or hold their hand, is a powerful experience. And I was pretty blown away. Understanding perception is something I really learned. Going in, I had a totally different aspect on what I thought a death cafe was going to be. Thought it was going to be a lot more depressing. Coming out, I feel a lot more positive about it. And due to that, my perception now, for people that are dying, just look into it as it's something that's going to happen, and just be positive about it, worse than having said as something that might, take apart your life. The way how we see the world is the way we're going to act to the world, and that's a form of perception. I learned that quote from Steve Kelly. And perception gives us meaning to external forces by allowing us to interpret, categorize, and organize stimuli you choose to monitor. So I'd prefer to have a real positive attitude going into something, even like death. And the Death Cafe has really given me a positive experience towards understanding a new perception of death.
I enjoyed sharing my stories, and I loved listening to other people's stories and how relating it to my own story and my own understanding of death.
What about your thoughts?
I loved it just because of the honesty of the people getting together, sharing, deeper than just the weather.
Yeah.
So that's most important to me.
Yeah.
After having a group, I know how powerful and good it is.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on staying in the group for a while?
I do. Yeah.
I'd say, I've seen some shit. All right, those are the type of guys I saw, and I was like, awesome. These guys are gonna have some crazy stories. And no, they're just regular guys that read a lot of books about death, and they're all old, and so they're all just really interested in the subject, and just I think they're handling it really maturely, just saying, hey, we're gonna die. Let's get a little research on the subject first. So I went to my story. I just told them I was here for Intercultural video, but I'm also really excited just to be able to understand, the process. And when I do have to end up grieving, I'm going to be more prepared. And everyone found that cool. The group was led by a lady named Francoise. She's from France. She was really professional. She kept everything going, but it was more of just a discussion. And we were going off topics about painkillers and how people want to die unconsciously or not. One guy said the joke, a lot of people were just joking about, like, hey, what if I just went up and stabbed somebody? He's dead, right? And people were just laughing, right? It was just, people were just laughing about dying. And I found it really hilarious and, kind of odd that we were doing it. We were in like a little cabin. And so we were like in our own little place, and I felt like we were all just the sick little puppies talking about death. But I know it was something I did not see coming. The girl next to me, she was around 20 years old, and she had they had a lot of great books about dying, and she always said that she always felt super strange about how a lot of people have died around her, but she never really was like, oh, well, they're dead, good for them, or she didn't really think so much into it, like boasting and crying, or not boasting, but crying and getting really sad, and and people said, hey, you have mental problems, you should be terrified right now, and she was like, why? It's just a process. And I mean, at a young age she was like that. Now she was at this event, so she had a lot of information on the subject, and she's looked a lot into it because her parents even felt she was psycho just for being so calm when people died. And she was cool to listen to, because I feel honestly that's how I am also as well. I don't think, but having really no one die around me, knock on wood, don't have any wood to knock on, I don't know if that changes things, but the only thing I've really had die is a dog. And I got told, I got teary. So I got teary when my dog died. So I don't know if an actual person I knew died, how I'd feel. Probably stories would come back, or memories. Now, something that I learned that pertains to the book is the girl that was talking about her family, how they actually don't want. There's a girl in there that she was talking about how when her parents get older, she's had the discussion with them that she wants to take care of them, and her family, they don't want her to have that burden, they say so, and they won't even have an open debate to it. And so the way I look at that is they're not much of an extended family, where the lady in my class wants it to be. They're more of a nuclear family, and so they just want everything to be separate. And they said, hey, once we get old enough, just put us in a home. So I was just noticing different forms of family.